Today, I'm talking all about how to measure the effectiveness of your digital marketing campaigns. What does success really look like? Hi, I'm Riaz. I create videos for business owners and marketing executives who want to increase their knowledge and success with paid ads, and let's scale your business together. So in order to be able to effectively measure success for your digital marketing campaigns, and specifically your paid media PPC campaigns, you need to look at your funnel. When I say your funnel, I mean your digital marketing funnel and your business in a different way. If you don't have a digital marketing funnel or a marketing funnel for your business, you'll want to start there. And so I will be creating videos on that. But what you really want to understand is that there are 4 stages in the traditional marketing funnel. There's awareness, interest, desire, and action. And I didn't make this up. This has been around for 200 years. You can read about it in all the communications and history books. But today we're gonna hone in on the 3 stages that have become widely popular in digital marketing in this era. And those stages of the funnel are as follows. You have awareness, which is the top of the funnel, the tofu top of the funnel. And at this stage, your goal is to get your customer to know who you are, to know you exist, okay? That is how awareness is achieved. Big players here include McDonald's, Coca-Cola. You probably think, hey, these guys don't need to advertise, but they continue to do that over and over again at the top of that funnel in order to keep themselves top of mind for you. In the middle of the funnel, we have, or the MOFU, middle of the funnel, we have engagement, okay? And engagement is essentially, I understand your unique selling propositions. And the best way to drive understanding for your customers, your potential clients and prospects, is through your unique selling propositions. And what that looks like is education, enlightenment, entertainment, anything that's going to help to drive knowledge for a user. This video would be a good example of engagement, right? So by the end of it, hopefully you'll understand your marketing metrics. Okay, so engagement is I understand. And at the bottom of the funnel, we have conversions. So conversion is I want, right? I want your product or service. So think about your own customer in your own business and the stages, the stages they go through when they're learning about who you are, knowing that you exist, wanting to make a purchase. You know, it doesn't happen randomly. There's usually a sequence that a person goes through. They become aware of your business or your product or service. They engage with your brand in some capacity so that they gain knowledge and understanding of what you do and what makes you different. And then there's a conversion point where I want what you're offering. And you know, this is as old as advertising itself. As I've mentioned, you probably have heard about this in some capacity. What is a less talked about fact, though, is that when we're looking at digital marketing metrics, and if you've ever worked with an agency before or done digital marketing campaigns, there are a boatload of metrics that you can run into, and it becomes overwhelming. It's like, what really matters here? What should I be paying attention to? And my goal today is for you to have a better understanding of the metrics that should matter the most to you to generate an ROI on your investment and to grow and scale your business, okay? So the reason I share the funnel and the stages and that whole journey of awareness, engagement, and conversion is because when you're measuring the effectiveness of your campaigns, you have to be measuring the effectiveness of the stage that your prospect is at within this journey. And why that's so important is because if you don't actually segment the metrics by stage, you will be overwhelmed, you'll be inundated with information, and you won't know if the metrics that you're focused on are the key economic drivers for your business and for your campaigns. Okay, so we're gonna jump into some of the KPIs here. So when I say KPIs, I mean key performance indicators, okay? So key performance indicators are numbers that you measure to show the effectiveness in parts of your business. And in this case, we're gonna be focused on the KPIs as it relates to your digital marketing campaigns and predominantly your paid media campaigns. Okay, so what I've done is I've separated it into the 3 buckets here. Okay, so we have the awareness metrics, the engagement metrics, and the conversion metrics. And if you're reading through these and jumping ahead, you'll probably note that this is not an exhaustive list. You know, you may be looking at the screen saying, hey, where's that metric or where's this metric? This is not an exhaustive list by any means. So I'm choosing today to focus on the metrics that are predominant and the ones that I believe are the most important for the effectiveness and the success of your campaigns. Okay, so if there are other metrics that you track for your digital marketing campaigns, please comment below, share some of those metrics with us, and we can talk about them in future videos. Okay, so at the awareness stage, again, remember the goal of awareness is I know you exist. Okay, everything outside of that is noise. The goal of awareness is I know you exist. And the metrics associated to awareness are going to prove that your prospect knows you exist, nothing else. Okay, so here are the metrics that I focus on at the awareness stage. Okay, impressions. So impressions are every time your ad is seen, whether it's on your newsfeed, on someone's newsfeed, on LinkedIn or Facebook, or an impression can also be when you do a Google search and you see an ad there. That's one impression. Okay. So again, an impression isn't any form of clicks or engagement or they visited your website, none of that. It's really just the fact that they know you exist. And the way that we know that is because they are seeing an ad. They're seeing an ad, presumably seeing your brand name, maybe a logo, learning a little bit about the fact that you exist. Okay. Once that is achieved, awareness has been achieved. Okay. Reach is another metric. Reach ultimately is the unique amount of people that you are reaching. Okay, so with impressions, the same person can see multiple ad impressions, but reach is actually the number of unique people who you have reached, who have seen your ad. And of course, that's important too because you want, if you're doing awareness campaigns, you want a lot of people, presumably, to see your ad within your target audience. Okay, so again, reach and impressions are indicators that awareness has been achieved, which at the top of the funnel is the only thing that matters. Okay. Third one I have here, I'm not as fixated on this one. It's a bit old, it's a bit outdated to be honest, but CPM, which is cost per mil, it's Latin, right? So cost per 1,000 impressions. So what is the cost that you're gonna pay to serve out 1,000 of these bad boys impressions out to your target audience, right? And that can be important for people, usually for larger brands, who are looking to measure the cost and trying to optimize your cost for the amount of awareness that you're getting. Okay, so again, notice I haven't mentioned clicks or click-through rate or engagement or conversions or anything like that, because again, those metrics aren't relevant to achieve awareness, which is I know you exist. That's all that matters. Okay, moving along, at the middle of the funnel, the MOFU, which is again engagement stage, and the goal of engagement is that I understand your unique selling propositions. I understand what makes you different, right? Educate, entertain, and enlighten. Okay, so number one we have here is clicks. Okay, so this is every time someone clicks on an ad and presumably goes to your landing page or goes to your website, that is a click, of course, right? Click-through rate is essentially the number of clicks divided into the number of impressions served, right? And why that's important is because it indicates to us how relevant your ad is versus the overall pie, the number of impressions that have been served overall. So just to simplify it, if your ad was served 10 times at the awareness stage impressions, how many people clicked on it in order to move forward and start to engage in your brand? That's your click-through rate. So if it's 2 out of 10, that's 2%. 5 out of 10, it's 5%. Okay, so click-through rate is, again, click-through rate's not important for awareness because it's an indication that engagement has occurred. Okay, and that there's more that a click that's happened, they get to your website, that they're starting to engage. There are metrics that prove it further down, which we'll get into. Okay, so website visits, right? Someone visiting your website, that they're aware of you. They are now at your website. They are now engaging with your brand, and they're trying to understand you a little bit better and what makes you different. They're sussing it out. They're going through it. They're filtering. They're filtering you versus other people. Okay, time on site. How long is someone spending on your website, right? If they're not spending a lot of time, they're not engaging at a very high level, right? So this is a metric, time on site, that shows, okay, people are sticking around, they're reading things, they're consuming, they're engaging. Okay, bounce rate. Bounce rate essentially is someone visits your website, right? Do they choose to go to another page, or do they bounce and leave, right? So why this is important is because if someone lands on your website and leaves right away, that's not good. That's not good for engagement, right? So the higher that number is, the bounce rate is, that's actually bad, right? So you want to bring that bounce rate low, and when you do that, you know that someone's going to 1, 2, 3, maybe multiple pages on your website, and that's indicated by bounce rate. And as a user online, you probably visited websites and left right away, and you're kind of like not interested in it, right? You don't want to engage. You know they exist. You don't want to engage. You're not engaging, okay? You're bouncing. Video engagement, okay? So video is a really great tool for engagement because it allows you to educate, entertain, enlighten, right? Kind of like what I'm doing right now. You're learning, we're having fun, perhaps you're getting enlightened. This is all an understanding of your unique selling proposition. You're getting an understanding of what it's like to work with me, perhaps, or how I do things, right? So video engagement is very important. And there are lots of metrics within video engagement, right? So likes, subscribers, comments, and then a series of other metrics on the back end of video platforms as well. And again, you'll want to go granular and understand what matters to you, okay? Reactions, likes, comments, shares, angry faces, right? Like all of these platforms have like different symbols now to indicate some form of reaction, right? So are your posts getting reactions, right? Now, again, that is an indicator of engagement, right? They like it because they went through the video and perhaps they liked it. This might be a good time to mention for you to like this if you're this far into it, right? There you go. That's a sign of reaction, okay? So again, with awareness, we're focused on awareness metrics. With engagement, we're focused on engagement metrics. And if we go down to conversions, we're focused on conversion metrics, which essentially means I want your product or service in some capacity, or I want what you're offering. Now, this can vary through the stages. It might be I want to attend your webinar. It might be I want to download your lead magnet. It might be I want to take your survey, right? So it doesn't always mean it's a purchase. I know businesses we care about purchases and bottom of the funnel in terms of like converting people, but that's not always the case. Okay, so just to be clear on that. Some of the conversion metrics that you want to pay attention to are form fills, such as like a request for demo, a request for a consultation, maybe it's just a contact us form if you're a B2C, phone calls, right? There are lots of ways to track phone calls using digital marketing, sign-ups, sign up for your newsletter, sign up for your lead magnet, sign up for your membership loyalty program, sign up, okay? Your email list. Purchase is, with e-commerce especially, we'll see purchase as a conversion metric. And then we have some more acronyms, right? So we have CPA, which is cost per acquisition, right? So what that essentially means is how much did you spend on the advertising platforms divided into the number of people who actually signed up, right? And what that does is it gives us a dollar figure to know exactly, okay, I put this much into digital marketing, and this is exactly how many people I got out of it, and what the cost to acquire that person was. And of course, the goal is to get that as low as possible. Okay, CVR, conversion rate, right? So the conversion rate is the rate of conversion, right? Versus, and you can benchmark the conversion rate against a lot of things, which is either clicks or impressions or other metrics at the top of the funnel. There's no like universally accepted conversion rate. I'm typically looking at like the number of people that clicked over to your website versus like made a conversion. But some people do it at like the impressions versus conversions or other ways of looking at it. So you want to be clear on that. And then we have CAC, which is customer acquisition cost. Customer acquisition cost is more of a business KPI versus specifically digital marketing. But what you're looking at is what are the spend, the budget that you put towards all of the different factors involved in acquiring a new customer, essentially. So why this is all important is because I see it very often where agencies and marketers are like so fixated on click-through rate and CTR, and like that is one metric within one part of the whole ecosystem that indicates like one outcome or action has happened. And in this case, it's engagement, right? So don't get too fixated on click-through rate. I'm not saying it's not important. It is important, but it's all about relevancy, okay? That is all about relevancy. It doesn't really mean too much down here. It's an indicator. It's an early indicator that people are relating to you and to your ad, and that there's a higher I mean, let's be real. Like, the more people that click on your ad, the more chances someone's going to convert, because you have a higher number of raw people that have gotten to that conversion point, right? Ultimately, I want you to understand these metrics, and there are many other metrics, of course, but I want you to ask yourself, what matters to me? And I have that here. What matters to you? What should matter to you? Now, I know when a lot of times it's really about leads and purchases, and I think, you know, businesses and understandably like to hang out over here. And I think often when you hire a marketing agency or a marketing team, you're focused down here, right? And of course, the marketing agency is often focused up here, right? Because let's be honest, it's easier to get a better result up here. Now, the real agencies, the ones that have skin in the game, they're gonna hang out down here, okay? If you're a paid media company, PPC, social media advertising companies, if they're not hanging down here, you're gonna have to really question what's going on here. Because if you're doing this well, you're doing this and this as well. Like, you know, in order to get conversions, you need engagement and awareness, right? Can you catch people at the conversion stage of their journey? For sure. Can you catch them at the engagement stage? For sure. But typically they go through this process, and if you're getting good metrics down here, you're probably already doing these things pretty well, okay? So ask yourself what matters to you, and then reverse engineer it. So as an example, if you're an e-commerce brand, it would be purchases. Well, what happens before the purchase? They probably check out your reviews, they check out your purchase page, they kind of go through a little bit of a process. So how would we be able to indicate that the things that happen before the purchase? Okay, well, you know, certainly website visits, time on site. Usually the longer they're hanging out on your website, especially the higher the price point is, the more they're gonna, the more time they're gonna spend on your website before making a purchase. Bounce rate would be low, right? So those are the types of things that are happening here. And then of course up here, it might be, reach within your target audience, right? So how many people are you reaching? How many of those people? What's the click-through rate on those people? How are they moving down the funnel? Are they spending a lot of time on your website? And are they ultimately purchasing? And again, if they're leaving your website, you may be doing what's called retargeting or remarketing, which is doing campaigns to target people who have already visited your website. So in that case, the metrics might be slightly different there. Okay. Finally, I want to talk about some more advanced KPIs, which are around MQL, SQL, and SAL. These are more common in B2B and tech companies. MQL is a marketing qualified lead, SQL, sales qualified lead, and SAL is sales accepted lead. And this is more enterprise, more B2B. But what's important here is that often a form fill down here in those companies would be really considered an MQL, a marketing qualified lead, right? If it's really strong, then it would become a sales qualified lead once it's vetted out or pre-qualified. And then once the sales team accepts it, it's a sales accepted lead, right? So I think if you're working in enterprise or a B2B or tech, and you might see these terms thrown around, they're important to understand. And what's really important here is like your qualifiers. You know, what are the things that are helping to qualify a lead? So it's not just a low quality lead. It's like, you know, it basically checks the boxes that are required for it to go from marketing qualified to sales qualified over to sales accepted lead. All right, metrics. I know this can be overwhelming, so I hope that I've simplified this for you. Again, don't start measuring metrics until you understand that journey of awareness. I know who you are, engagement. I understand your unique selling propositions and conversions. I want what your product or service is to offer. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this and you want to see other videos on digital marketing and predominantly paid ad paid ads, PPC, inbound marketing. I'm just starting this new series out. Really appreciate your support. I got the microphone now, so working on the tech. Still working on the reflection with the with the light there, so appreciate your patience. But again, there's no time like the present, just like digital marketing, to get started, and you can have incremental improvements over time. And that's what I aim to deliver with these videos on a regular basis. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.